I'm going to start with a little confession that probably sounds familiar to a lot of home cooks. I bought cheap countertop ovens that promised restaurant-grade pizza at a fraction of the price, only to discover that the stone deck cracked after a few weeks, the temperature never quite got hot enough for a proper crust, and the timer kept blowing the fuse on my kitchen circuit. That kind of buyer's regret is what makes me hesitate before pulling the plug on a new appliance. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon, and today I'm taking a hard look at the Waring pizza oven with independent double deck to see whether it actually delivers on the promise of a smarter, more reliable pizza setup. When you're shopping for a dedicated pizza oven, the first question is whether you really need two decks. For most families, a single deck can bake a decent pizza, but the independent double deck design is aimed at people who want to run two pizzas at different temperatures or finish a crust while the second one bakes the toppings. That flexibility is the headline appeal, but it also adds complexity. The Waring model gives you two 18-inch ceramic decks that are white, not the traditional black stone you see in many wood-fired kits. White ceramic tends to be more forgiving on the surface, meaning you're less likely to scrape off a piece of the deck when you lift the pizza, but you also lose some of the char that some pizza enthusiasts love. In practice, the decks heat up evenly, and because they're insulated you'll notice a cooler kitchen environment, something I can appreciate when I'm cooking a three-course meal and don't want the whole house turning into a sauna. Temperature range is the next big factor people worry about. This unit claims a span from 105°C up to a scorching 840°C, which in theory covers everything from slow-roasted focaccia to ultra-quick Neapolitan-style pies. I ran a simple test with the oven's manual controls, setting it to 500°C, letting it preheat for about 20 minutes, and then sliding a frozen pizza onto the deck. The crust turned golden in roughly 67 minutes, a decent result that mirrors what I've seen in smaller countertop ovens with similar temperature capabilities. When you crank it up to 800°C, the oven reaches that heat in a bit longer, but the real test is how the thermostat holds the temperature while the door is opened. The independent timers, one for each deck, help you track cooking times, and because the timers are separate, you can run a quick 5-minute pizza on one side while a slower cooking calzone finishes on the other. That's a practical advantage for folks who love multitasking in the kitchen. Now, let's talk about the real-world setup. The oven sits on four 4-inch legs, which lift it off the countertop and give you a bit of airflow underneath. That's a subtle design choice that reduces heat buildup on the benchtop, but it also means you need a sturdy, level surface. No wobble is allowed if you want those decks to slide in and out smoothly. The unit is fairly heavy, as you'd expect from a fully insulated professional-grade oven, so expect to need at least 2 people to move it from the store to the kitchen. Once installed, the wiring is standard for a household plug, SP40, any, so you won't need a special outlet, but keep in mind the draw when both decks are running at maximum temperature. A dedicated circuit is a wise precaution. Who should consider the Waring pizza oven? If you're a pizza enthusiast who frequently experiments with different crust styles, toppings, or even baking breads and reheating leftovers, the dual-deck layout gives you genuine flexibility. It shines for families that rotate pizza night with friends, where one group wants a thin, blistered base and another prefers a thicker, chewier crust. The separate timers let you keep those styles separate without guessing. It's also a solid option for small-scale catering or a home-based food business that needs to produce consistent results without investing in a full-size brick oven. Who should skip it? If you're looking for a plug-and-play appliance that you'll use once a week for a frozen pizza, the extra deck and the higher price point probably aren't justified. The white ceramic decks are a compromise, fine for everyday use, but not a substitute for the smoky flavor you get from a genuine stone hearth. Similarly, if your kitchen lacks a sturdy countertop or you're limited on electrical capacity, this unit can become a hassle rather than a help. And for renters, the footprint, roughly 2 feet wide with the legs, may be too permanent to move around easily. Practical strengths are fairly clear once you start cooking. The independent heating means you can set one deck to a low 150°C for slow roasting vegetables while the other sits at 750°C for a quick pizza bake, something you can't achieve with most single-deck countertop models. The insulated design keeps the exterior surface relatively cool, which is a safety win for households with kids. The two 30-minute timers simplify timing for dishes that need differing.